How does it feel waking up this morning knowing you have a berth in the semifinal at least and a chance to go right to the final tonight?
Oh, it's exciting. It's a tough tournament. We know that. I've been here before, and I know how hard it is to win games. So, we've had 2 close games. Both games could have gone either way. So it's exciting to get wins in both of them, and it's good to have a chance.
How do you expect the physicality and intensity to ramp up tonight with 2 undefeated teams both wanting to, book that spot in the final now?
Yeah, London's going to play hard. It doesn't matter when you're going to play them. They're going to play hard. They got a lot of talent. They're deep. So yeah, it's going to be a good challenge for us tonight for sure. We're going to have to play our best, and they're going to play hard.
They're the only team really you've seen play twice live before facing off in this tournament. Just kind of what have you taken away, and maybe what's something that's part of the game plan against them?
Yeah, I saw them last year in the Memorial Cup, and they were really good in that cup. And as soon as that one ended, they said they were going to have a better team the next year. And I don't know if they're better this year or not, but they're sure a really good team right now. So, I think that being able to watch them live just stresses how their upper end talent. It stresses their depth, they're built like an American League team. They're a big team.
Do they remind you of your team?
No, we're different teams. They're just a big, hard, physical team, and with lots of talent. So they're a tough team to play.
How has your team handled difficult back-to-backs throughout the regular season and playoffs?
I think we've been pretty good in them. Right now, it really doesn't matter that you played last night. That's not really a factor. We got to find a way tonight, and we had our chance, so we'll have to find a way to be good.
You're just one GM of many, 22 in the league, but why didn't anybody want Austin?
Elliot? Oh, there's a lot of different reasons. Not anything to do with him. For us, we had 2 real young goaltenders, and I wanted to see where they were going to be, if they were going to be good enough, because I was hoping I wouldn't have to make a trade. So I was just hoping they would do it, and in the end, they didn't quite get to where I wanted to, so then I had to make a move. But Elliot was already gone at that time. But yeah, it really is kind of surprising he got through our league, because he's a real quality goaltender. And maybe it was just because it was so early. It was a real early move, and I think lots of GMs didn't know what their goaltending was going to be like at that time, and so they were just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and someone told me, scouts said that in the dub, they'd rather have a 30, 40-point guy up front, right, than if you have a little bit of goaltending depth, then you...
Yeah, maybe, but we traded for a 20-year-old goaltender after, so it's still, goaltending's still the key in any situation. For us, I had a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old, and I wanted to see if I could get them to the spot that then we wouldn't, we could keep that 20-year-old spot. But in the end, I didn't think we could, but it was just too early. If it would have been a month later, I'm sure I would have done something.
Okay, you talked about last night, the rule. Should we just adopt the rules of the league that you're playing in? Whoever the host is? Because they seem to... they seem to mix and mash them a little bit.
A little bit it is. I always thought the rule was if you played it, that it would be a good goal. I didn't know it just had to touch the stick. So, yeah, there's a lot of rules, and they're in all the leagues, so it is hard to keep track of all of them for everybody. But, that one was fortunate because, it could have been a totally different story if it didn't get counted and we ended up losing, then I'm sure I would have been a little different about it.
Yeah, there was a slew foot in one of the other games, and that's judged differently among the leagues, right?
Yeah. So, that's hard.
It's hard, yeah.
Talking about one of Austin's former teammates, you talked about bringing in Tanner Molendyk as being kind of the turning point of the season. What have you seen from him in this tournament?
He's just such a quality player. You looked at him in World Juniors. I saw him in World Juniors. Well, I saw him for 4 years, so I had a pretty good idea where he was at. But the thing I didn't know about him is that he plays better in big games. I didn't know how competitive he was. I didn't know how good of a teammate he was. So there's lots of things I've found out about him since we got him. But, when we brought him in, we just knew we were adding a really good defenseman. And he's passed our expectations.
Is pretty rare to see those guys who come in at the trade deadline and see them earn an A so quickly. What did he do to earn that opportunity, and what kind of voice is he in the room?
Well, his history got him an A right away. Like he's had so much history. He's been in big games. He got a voice, so just because how good he is with his teammates, I can give him an A, but that really doesn't matter with the teammates. The teammates, you got to come in and maybe earn a little more when you're in the room. But he's one of those guys that every day he's sitting at a different table. He doesn't have his own group. He doesn't have his own clique. He's good with everybody in the room. And then when he goes on the ice, he's exceptional. He just plays hard. So he's got everybody's respect, and he certainly deserves the A.
The other teams are really going after him hard, trying to slow him down.
Yeah, they do. It'd be no different from us. If we were playing a guy of his caliber, we'd certainly want our guys to finish checks on him as well. So that just comes with the territory when you're a good player, and he just finds ways to battle through.
There are two other guys who've gone maybe under the radar just in terms of media attention throughout the playoffs. Veeti Väisänen and Niilo Pekka-Nurmonen.
Yeah.
Sort of Veeti, like on that pairing with Tanner. What has he brought to the team this season?
Veeti's been really good. It's funny with the Europeans, it usually takes till after Christmas till you can tell. And, at the start of the year, we're kind of, okay, well, let's see where they're at. But they certainly came into their own after Christmas. Veeti, a Utah pick, has added a little bit more offense to his game as the year went on. But certainly a really solid player, plays hard, was at World Juniors. So, we've been really excited by his performance and how he's improved during the year. And same thing with Niilo. Niilo is a bigger guy, really good stick, stays at home, in battles. So both guys have added a lot to our D-core.
Some of the trades you made this year, one with Lethbridge to get Harrison Mennigan, and then you mentioned the Saskatoon trade. How was it kind of building this team when okay, we got to bring in certain guys, you can't bring in too many, you can't maybe not do enough?
We made some big moves before the season started, getting Wu and Pickford and Ward. Those are really big acquisitions and that was, that got us going where now we have a team because we lost 3 20-year-old defensemen last year, so our D was a real concern for us going into the year. And all of a sudden you pick up Wu and Pickford, and then you got the 2 Europeans. So all of a sudden we made big changes with our team before the season started. But once we got there, then it was like, okay, well, how can we kind of complete it? And like I said, with Elliott would have been a great goalie for us. I just didn't know what I had in goaltending at that time. So when Mennigan came available, I'd already seen our guys for a little longer, and I thought, okay, we got to go with a goalie. So Mennigan was a huge pickup for us. And then Mollendijk was just if you can add one of the top guys in the league, you just add him. So that wasn't, I knew we had a bit of a chance, so I was hoping maybe he'd put us over the top.
You got Walentowski in that deal too, and you said you tried to trade for him before. How many times?
Probably 3. I always liked him, and he was a big part of that trade too, because we lost the forward going the other way on that one. And I just like how good he is defensively. Like, he is a really good defensively. And he's been a big acquisition for us since he's come over. So, people don't recognize it. It's good that you mentioned that trade because he was really a big part of that trade.
Do you have enough assets left to be one of those London Knights type teams that keep coming back?
We got some good young players for sure. Our D is, the only guy who wouldn't be back maybe is Mollendijk, so we got a good group back there. We got a good young goaltender coming. So, we have some parts, but we only got one focus right now, and that's this year.
Ryder Ritchie, the other offseason acquisition for you guys,
Yeah.
Willie, for him to go through the injury he did in October and work his way back up to the speed, and as you mentioned last night, playing his best hockey of the year, just how important is this for him developmental wise, but also just for the team?
Yeah, Ryder's been exceptional for us. Like, he came in and he got a real slow start. He got the eye injury, and that really set him back for a while. And he, I don't know, maybe just getting used to our league and not our league, our team, and that. He didn't play his best right away, but all playoffs, and right at the end of the year, he started playing well again. So he's been good, and he's not like he scored, but he made about 2 or 3 really good passes. And one of the things that people don't know about him, or he hasn't done in the past, is block shots. In our series against Spokane, he blocked 3 or 4 really big shots for us. So his game overall has been great, and he's worked hard too. He's tracked back a lot, so we're really happy with his performance.
Caden Lyncham not playing back-to-backs in the league finals. Is he going to be able to play tonight?
I expect him to play.